Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Disney Villains collaboration between I Am Custom Color and myself. This collaboration goes on sale October 13th. I have contributed 3 polishes from my brand and Ashley has contributed 3 polishes from her brand I Am Custom Color. Her polishes will be available on her site and mine will be available on my site, so in the description box below I will link both of our sites, both of our Instagram pages, as well as my swatching Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from this collaborative collection. So yes, we have 3 I Am Custom Color shades, 3 Pampered Polishes shades, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Poor Unfortunate Souls, and this is described as an amazing green to purple thermal with black hollow and matte glitter and iridescent glitter scattered throughout, and this is inspired by Ursula from The Little Mermaid. So here's our first coat of Poor Unfortunate Soul. This covers pretty well here on this first coat. It is still a little bit sheer, so I am going to go in for a second coat. The formula on this is really good. No running, pooling, staining, anything like that. You do get a good amount of glitter out without having to do any kind of shaking or anything. I did hold my bottle upside down for maximum glitter payoff. I didn't try it without doing that though, so I'm not sure if it made any kind of difference. But this does cover completely in 2 coats. You will want a nice thick glitter eating glossy top coat to finish this off because it does dry a little bit textured due to those glitters. I don't believe you would need a peel-off base coat with this one. The removal wasn't too tricky. If you didn't want to do any added scrubbing though, you will want it. So there is the transition. It is a very nice, easy, reactive thermal, and there is 2 coats. Up next we have Mr. Oogie Boogie, and this is described as a greenish gray hollow with green to purple shimmers and ultra chrome chameleon flakies. This one also glows a neon blue in the dark, and it's inspired by Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Here's our first coat of Mr. Oogie Boogie. This one's a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but again the formula is really good and smooth. No complaints across the board on I Am Custom Color's formula. The flakies that are in here will lie smooth, but the fact that it is a glow in the dark will make it kind of this like sandy texture, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this one off as well. The removal on this is very easy though. The fact that it dries to the sandy texture doesn't mean that it has to remove like a glitter. It is a nice smooth removal process. So there's 2 coats. And lastly, from I Am Custom Color, we have Prick Your Finger, and this is described as an ultra hollow with tons of purple to green ultra chrome chameleon flakies in a dark charcoal jelly base, and this one is inspired by Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. Here's our first coat of Prick Your Finger. This one is pretty sheer here on this first coat. It will build up really nicely though. The fact that it is such a dark base means that you do want it a little bit more sheer to see all of the added elements that are in there when it's built up. But again, a great, smooth, easy to work with formula, and you do get a good amount of flakies out. So this builds up nicely here on 2 coats, where if you did 2 thicker coats, you could probably get this opaque. I am going to go in for a 3rd coat though. This one is going to dry pretty glossy on its own. You will want a top coat to finish it off though for longevity. Here's our 3rd coat, and this one does cover completely in 3 coats for me, and this one's also going to be much more holographic when it's dry than when it's wet. And this one's also going to dry much more hollow than when it's wet as well. Nothing in here is going to be hard to remove or stick to your nails or make a mess or anything like that. So there's 3 coats. And moving on to my shades, I actually haven't written out descriptions yet, so we are starting with Maim After My Meeting, and this is a nude crelly base. It is loaded with ultra chrome chameleon flakies, iridescent flakies, iridescent glitter, and blue shimmer, and scattered hollow. And this was inspired by Hades from Hercules. Here's our first coat of Maim After My Meeting. And this covers pretty well here on this first coat. I can still make up my nail line, so I am going to go in for a 2nd coat. You get a good amount of glitter out, again, without having to do any kind of shaking or swirling or anything like that. And I think the formula is pretty good. It's not too thick or too thin. It is on the thicker side of the spectrum, but I believe it makes it where it stays right where you put it instead of running. So here's our 2nd coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats. This one is going to dry down dull as well as slightly textured, so you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish this one off. And as far as the removal goes, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but nothing too wild where you'd need a peel-off base coat. So there's 2 coats. Next up we have Pull the Lever, and this is a dusty purple base with a bright purple shimmer, and there are white, black, hollow, blue, and red, and pink, and a bunch of different glitters, and then it does have a scattered hollow as well. And this is inspired by Yzma from the Emperor's New Groove. Here's our first coat of Pull the Lever. And this one's a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but again, I think the formula is pretty smooth, easy to work with. The glitter payoff in here is pretty good. I didn't want it to be overloaded with glitter. I didn't want like a super crelly because I already have another crelly in this collection, but I did want just an added element of something special. So here's our second coat, and for me this covered completely in 2 coats. This is 2 to 3 coater, you know, so depending on how thick or thin you do your coats, like on my ring finger I'm doing pretty thin coats. I would probably add a 3rd coat to that, but on the rest of my nails today I am doing a little bit thicker of coats, so 2 coats was completely opaque, and nothing in here is going to be super hard to remove either. So there is 2 coats. And then lastly for today we have your Eternal Reward, and this is a bright fiery red crelly base, and this is loaded with black and white glitter. It also has a iridescent glitter. It's got a bright magenta shimmer that I don't think I can catch, and then it has hollow micro flakies and iridescent flakies, and this is inspired by Jafar from Aladdin. And here's our first coat of your Eternal Reward. This covers pretty well here on this first coat. I can still make up my nail line, so I am going to go in for a second coat. And the more coats that you add of these, the more glitter payoff you're going to get as well. I think the formula on this is pretty good. Again, no running or pulling. I didn't have any staining with this one personally. Reds don't tend to stain me. I know they do tend to stain some people though, so just bear in mind that this one is a pretty pigmented red, so wear a base coat. Here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This one's going to dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish this one off as well. The glitter in here, again, won't be super difficult to remove because it's not super loaded, but if you don't like to work at all for removal, you will still want to peel off base coat. So there is 2 coats. So from I Am Custom Color, Prick Your Finger is my favorite. I really enjoy the Ultra Chrome flakies that are in here. The formula on this is really good. It looks beautiful with a glossy top coat. It looks beautiful with a matte top coat. The glossy top coat is going to help the hollow stand out, and the matte top coat is going to help the shimmer as well as the flakies stand out. So this is a really versatile polish in that sense for me, so I like this one a lot. And then from my contributions, Maim After My Meeting is my favorite. I don't know, I really like the whole flaky formula that I have going on. I like the iridescent glitter in here. I like the shimmer in here. This was, I've said it before in past videos that I've made for my brand. There's always one polish that sparks a collection for me, and this was it. So it was like an inspirational, like keep going kind of thing for me. So Maim After My Meeting and Prick Your Finger are my favorites. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorites was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.